How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Anime Anecdotes, our script-free anime reviews about anime of the season, anime of the past, anime of the future. Ooh! And today, you click the link. You know what this is. I'm so ready to talk about this series. This series, if you couldn't tell by my logo or anything about me, is it's perfection. Of course, I'm talking about Bleach, and Bleach being one of the big three. Lord Aizen touched my very soul, and I have dreamed of creating my own espada since the first time they marched out on screen and on the page. I did read Bleach to its completion all those years ago, and when the anime reached its, I don't even want to say hiatus. It was fully concluded at the end of the Fullbring arc when Bleach was at a bit of a divot in popularity. No one really cared about the Fullbring arc, understandably so. It felt like a filler arc. It was important in the long run after reading Thousand Year Blood War and everything, but it was definitely a low point of the series. And so, I and a lot of Bleach fans were like, okay, but after we were reading the series week after week, we're like, okay, Thousand Year Blood War win. Thousand Year Blood War win. This is amazing. All these things happen and these characters get growth and there's like 200 chapters that just haven't been touched on. And Kubo would go on to make, Burn the Witch, which was phenomenal and loosely tied to the Bleach world, but it didn't scratch that itch. Right. It didn't give us what we had been waiting all these years for. And it took 10 years. It took over a decade before we got Thousand Year Blood War. And Thousand Year Blood War is 100. No. 1,000. No. 10,000. No. 100,000% worth the wait. It is gorgeous. It is spectacular. It is Bleach movie quality animation on just episodes. There's 52 episodes to this thing across 4 cores. I don't know if that's going to be just week after week after week after week, or if it's going to be like, 12 episode block break, 12 episode block break, 13 episode, ooh, wowee. But it's really good. It is phenomenal. I guess it would be 13 episodes and 13 episodes and 13 episodes. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War is the Bleach I wish I had when I was a kid. I've been following Bleach since 2006. I have been a devout fan since I saw the first trailers on Adult Swim all those years ago. Back when modern internet just couldn't handle, internet streaming if you weren't watching it in, 4 or 5 parts. And then you have Thousand Year Blood War coming out on Hulu, and you hear number 1 again. You see Ichigo, Orihime, Chad, Uryu just coming down to take out all the hollows, and your heart is full. It is bursting with full raw power. You feel yourself hyped up just the same as that first time Ichigo said Bunkai. It is perfection. The only notes I have for the entire episode, the first episode, is the hollow in the beginning is kind of rough on the CGI. Otherwise, no notes. Otherwise, all the other animation is perfect. You get one of my favorite lines delivered by Yamamoto ever. You get to see, I will say, Yamamoto's flames when he attacks the Sternwitter is probably the sexiest fire I have ever seen animated. It is, I was speechless just seeing those flames burst out and just go, Because, I read Thousand Year Blood War. I know what's coming next. And if you haven't read Bleach, if you haven't experienced Bleach yet, don't. I would recommend, since Kubo has confirmed that he oversaw the animation, and he even added in extra things, because famously, he was not in good health when he was finishing Bleach. He was struggling to complete it week after week, and ultimately, there were a lot of things that were left on the cutting room floor. And if you read the series, you can definitely see, oh, this was supposed to be fleshed out. Oh, here's Ganju. It's great to see Ganju again. When's he showing up? Never? Okay, that's fine. Oh, here's Chad. He ran off to fight those giants and we never saw him again. Oh, that is so fun. But knowing that he's coming back for these new scenes, knowing that he has been a part of these new scenes, really gives you hope that this is going to be something more than just a faithful adaptation of the manga. It's going to be a proper conclusion to Bleach. I mean, obviously there are novels that go on after Bleach had concluded that go more in depth into everything that's setting up, but this series, and I cannot stress enough, support the official release. If we get that, if we show if we show Kubo, if we show Shonen Jump, if we show, I mean, I think Studio Mappa is doing the anime for this. If we show everyone involved that there is still a feverish fan base for a series that's almost 20 years old, I mean, I can only hope that he continues the series. I can only hope that he builds off of the one shot that he released I want to say almost a year ago at this point, maybe longer than a year ago, that introduced a whole new idea that I need to see animated like yesterday, and I need to see it written out, 2 days after that. I mean, compared to, like, say, Blue Lock or Chainsaw Man, where the pilot episode is just, one chapter, this is like 4 or 5 chapters of the series in one episode, and it kind of has to be, because you only have 52 episodes to wrap up a 200 chapter arc. It's a lot, and you gotta go fast. But I mean, just the CGI looks brilliant. The soundtrack is amazing. The story is already good, but the fact that at the end of at the end of this episode, I don't know if they do it on each episode, I hope they do, but at the end of the episode, they put in Kubo's little, like, haikus, and they're just really cool to see. They're really neat to see. I just think they're neat, but they add so much more character. I mean, even just watching the trailers, I was like, okay, but could you go back and do the original in this? Like, cut out all the filler, just make the original series in this art style, and you will get buttloads of fans. I mean, just absolute buku buckets upon buckets of new Burichi fans that are going like, I love Zaraki. Byakuya is the best captain. Aizen. It's very baffling to me that in this day and age, you have the One Piece fans that are so feverish in their love for One Piece. And how could you not be? It's one of the longest running series of all time, one of the longest Shonen Jump series. It was shown in Times Square. It is a series that has made it. And I'm so happy for One Piece. I've been reading it all my life, essentially, and it deserves only the best, and it is going to conclude on what I can only assume is a high note. But you have that taking off. You have people, rereading Naruto or reading Naruto for the first time. And then you have people coming to Bleach and going, yeah, it's okay. Because there's not been that constant love, that constant display of what made Bleach so special. And seeing Thousand Year Blood War animated like this feels special. It feels like a treat. Like the most... I want you to just take a moment, right? I want you to I'm going to give you some ASMR here. I want you to close your eyes and imagine just the most spectacular ice cream sundae, just prepared. I mean, all the fixins just coated with hot fudge and that decadent cherry on top with the whipped cream and everything. You know what I'm talking about. And I want you to be able to take one of those tiny, like the long but tiny spoons, and be able to just cut off a perfect spoonful, put it to your lips and take a bite. And that was what episode 1 of Thousand Year Blood War felt like. Thousand Year Blood War felt like the chicken soup your mom makes you when you're sick, as you're wrapped up in a blanket and you take that first sip as you're watching The Price is Right. The first episode of Thousand Year Blood War felt like coming home from a day in the snow and being warmed up like you're in a Campbell's soup commercial from being a snowman. Thousand Year Blood War it's the magic of what anime can do for you, what shonen series can do for young readers. There is a magic, there is an absolute mysticism that goes with Thousand Year Blood War, because it is not only a beautiful homage, a beautiful capstone to a series that honestly deserves it. It is a love letter to the fans. It is a love letter to everyone that has fought so hard. Because ultimately, if the fans had just left it at that, if they had just left it at, well, I guess all we're getting is the Fullbring arc, and we're never really going to get any conclusion to Bleach, then we probably wouldn't have gotten Thousand Year Blood War. We never would have gotten a proper adaptation. But because the fans were so feverish with it, because of the fan outcry, I mean, It is here because people want it to be here. And everyone attached to the project feels like they love Bleach. They feel like they understand Bleach. They feel like there is a hardiness to what they're doing. This isn't just, let's make some money. This is, let's make the fans happy. Let's give them what they really want. Let's see if this works. This is an experiment. This is a very expensive experiment. But if it does well, if you support the official release, if you support this project, this could open the doors for things so much better, so much more incredible. I mean, wouldn't you like to see the entirety of Naruto done in that new trailer design? Wouldn't you love to see Bleach come back, have the full series animated 1,000-Year Blood War style? Wouldn't you love to see classic series like Katekyo Hitman Reborn, Ice Shield 21, even, you know what, Yu Yu Hakusho? We've got new Rurouni Kenshin coming out. What about Yu Yu Hakusho? Wouldn't you want to see a new Yu Yu Hakusho in that style? Like, this is where you have like Disney or Fox or, Paramount bringing back old shows with a new skin and going, it's a new season of, Inside Amy Schumer or Reno 911, or we thought what we would do is make 4 He-Man cartoons, and here's She-Ra and Voltron. But what if they just did that with some of your favorite anime? What if they did that, but they understood the spirit of the anime that it was based off of? What if they tried? What if they gave you something more substantial? And that's what 1,000-Year Blood War is. That's where the magic is. I adore 1,000-Year Blood War, and I hope all of you check it out. I cannot stress this enough. Even if you don't know anything about Bleach, even if you're like, Bleach is bad, watch the first episode, because at the conclusion of it, they actually have this like overview of, episode 1, when Ichigo first gets stabbed by Rukia and he gets his Soul Reaper powers, to, the conclusion of the Fullbring arc. And they cover a few characters as they evolve throughout the series. But if that doesn't pump you up, if that doesn't entice you at all, you're never going to like Bleach. You are going to be 100% dissatisfied every step of the way. But there's so much magic, so much raw emotion in this series that a tear was brought to my eye the moment I heard Getsuga Tensho for the first time in a decade. I mean, this is the long exhale of fans everywhere. This is what we've wanted. This is what Bleach fans deserve. This is what Bleach fans have needed. And I hope that this series does exceptionally. I hope this series is in the running for Anime of the Year. I know it may not win. I mean, Chainsaw Man exists. It probably won't, but in my nostalgic view, I want it to. And I will be fair. I will say, some of the fight with Ichigo and the Arrancar Quincy was okay. It didn't have the pop, the pizzazz, but just being able to see that in modern animation compared to what we had, 14 years ago is night and day. It is truly an exquisite experience. It is a 5-star, 5-course dinner prepared at your table. It is like one of those restaurants where you could eat the air inside of a pillow and be like, that's the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life. That is what the 1,000-Year Blood War is. The 1,000-Year Blood War is perfection. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. It is beautiful. But that's going to do it for this anime anecdote. Was I full of it? Did you love it? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments below. And like always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell so you never miss an episode. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Twitch, and join our Discord. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.